There are some big changes in how to make kibble in Ark Survival Ascended, but this guide will teach you everything you need to know to make kibble in Ark. If you're in a hurry, use the chapters to skip right to the topic you want to know about. I will start by teaching you why you should use kibble and which kibble to use for taming each creature in Ark Survival Ascended. I'll show you all the kibble recipes and teach you how to cook each kibble ingredient. I'm going to give you great tips on which dino eggs to use for each type of kibble, and some will really surprise you. I'm also going to tell you how to get every resource you need to make a kibble farm, and I'll give you some great tips at the end to help you get all the kibble you need for your Ark Survival Ascended adventures. And if you're playing Ark Survival Evolved, this guide will still show you how to make kibble in the original Ark, and I'll point out the changes for Ark Survival Ascended as we go. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let's get started. So in case you're new to kibble, let me start by explaining why you need kibble. If you use a creature's preferred kibble to tame it, it's going to tame more than 5 times as fast and gain better stats and much more taming effectiveness than if you use a different food. For example, a level 150 Giga takes about 19 kibble and 45 minutes to tame, whereas the same Giga is going to take 145 raw meat and 5 hours and 26 minutes to tame. Nobody got time for that. It's much better to use kibble. There are 6 types of kibble, each one is a different quality, going from basic kibble as the worst, then simple kibble, regular kibble, superior kibble, exceptional kibble, and extraordinary kibble. They all taste like dog food to me, trust me, but the dinos can really tell the difference. Each creature has a preferred quality of kibble, and if you feed it kibble that's better, higher up towards the top of the screen, it's totally fine with that. It's no different than feeding it the same quality that it wants. If you feed it kibble that's lower quality, below that in the screen, it will just get offended, and actually it's worse than any other taming food. Don't even try that. For example, a pteranodon prefers regular kibble, so you can use regular kibble, superior kibble, exceptional kibble, or extraordinary kibble, but not simple or basic kibble. It won't take those. A Rex prefers exceptional kibble, so the only kibbles that can tame a Rex are exceptional and extraordinary kibble. Nothing else works. I'm going to go over each kibble and tell you which creatures it can tame when we get to that section, but here is a really helpful chart thanks to the Ark Wiki, which will show you every creature and which kibbles can tame it. So feel free to bookmark this video and come back to it for reference anytime. But now let me show you how to craft each type of kibble on Ark Survival Ascended. So already we've got great news for Ark Survival Ascended. Even if you don't know the recipes for kibble, your cooking pot already does. As soon as you craft a cooking pot and open up its inventory, you'll have a couple of folders already there, and if you double-click on Consumables, double-click Crafted Foods, double-click Kibble, check it out. All of the recipes for every type of kibble are already there for you to look at. To make it even better, you can right-click on the recipe and hit Track, and it'll pull up this little tracking menu on the right side of the screen. You can hit the trash can icon on that menu to make it disappear, and it shows you everything you need except explaining the egg, and we'll go over that in a second. And we also need to put fuel in the cooking pot. If you're playing Ark Survival Ascended, any fuel is fine, but on Ark Survival Evolved, you really want to use thatch or spark powder so you don't craft dye. In Ark Survival Ascended, you're going to craft dye anyway unless you click this button that says Disable Auto Craft. If you forget that step, no matter what you do, you're only going to get dye. And every kibble also requires water, so you need to fill up a water skin, water jar, or canteen at least half full or half empty, depending on how optimistic you are. You can fill them up in a river during rain or drop them into a water tap to fill them and put it into the cooking pot's inventory. It will empty the contents of one water container for each kibble you craft. So now we'll show you all 6 types of kibble, which dinos they tame, which eggs they require, and all of their recipes. So let's start with basic kibble. It's only good for taming these creatures on the screen, and they're all pretty easy to tame. And each basic kibble needs 1 basic dinosaur egg, and I've got a list of all of those eggs in the bottom here. But I recommend just using dodo eggs because dodos are super easy to tame and they are egg-laying machines. And the ingredients are easy to get too. You need 1 basic dinosaur egg, 10 Amar berries, 1 cooked meat, 5 mejo berries, 5 fiber, and 10 tinto berries, and make sure you put water in the cooking pot. And since we disabled auto crafting, we're going to craft this just like an item in the smithy, pressing E, right-clicking, and selecting how many we want. And after about a minute, we have one basic kibble. Simple Kibble lets you tame anything on the screen here and anything you can tame with Basic Kibble. And you can save yourself a world of pain by using Kibble to tame giant bees. And here's all the eggs you can use to make Simple Kibble, but the Hesperornis egg might turn into oil before it makes kibble. Most people breed pteranodons anyway, so that's a great way to get eggs. And if you tame a female oviraptor, it will boost the egg-laying speed of all of your creatures and lay its own eggs, which you can use in Simple Kibble. The recipe for Simple Kibble is much less simple because you need 2 rock carrots, which you can only get right now in Ark Survival Ascended by growing them in medium to large crop plots. I'll do a whole guide soon on how to grow rock carrots and other vegetables, and I'll put a link in the description as soon as it's done. So we need 1 simple dinosaur egg from the list we showed you a second ago, 1 cooked fish meat, 5 mejo berries, 5 fiber, 2 rock carrots, and of course water. And after about a minute of crafting, we have Simple Kibble. Regular Kibble will tame anything listed here, and anything tamed by Simple and Basic Kibble. And this is where Kibble starts to really be worth it. Any of these regular eggs can be used, but everyone needs a good ankylosaurus for gathering metal, so if you tame a female, it'll make you eggs you can use for regular Kibble. And for regular Kibble, you need cooked meat jerky. In order to get that, you need to cook meat on a cooking fire or an industrial grill, then put it into a preserving bin. And if you open up the consumables folder, you'll see a meat folder, and this shows you the recipe for cooked meat jerky and prime meat jerky. You need 1 oil, 3 spark powder, and 1 cooked meat per each meat jerky. And it's going to take a long time to craft that. It actually shows you the progress bar at the bottom of the recipe if you ever want to check, but it takes like, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour to get 1 piece of cooked meat jerky, so it's good to get those started as soon as you can. So we need 1 cooked meat jerky and 1 regular dinosaur egg from the list we just showed you. We also need 2 long grass and 2 savo root from a garden, and 5 fiber, and of course 1 water. Craft it like usual, and about a minute later we have regular Kibble. Now it's time for Superior Kibble, which is actually really good. It can tame any of these creatures in this list. Some of these are extremely hard to tame without Kibble, and some of these you'll use for boss fights, so you want to get the best possible stats. And any of these eggs can be used to make Superior Kibble. Most people breed Argies, so they'll have plenty of Argentavis eggs. But here's what's crazy, you can use a Mosschops egg to make Superior Kibble. Mosschops will ask for random things to passively tame them. It might be giant bee honey, but it might be mejo berries and tinto berries. So always check what those female Mosschops want, because if you're super lucky, you could start a Superior Kibble farm 5 minutes after spawning into the game. Superior Kibble requires 2 citronal, which you grow in the garden, 1 prime meat jerky, which you make in the preserving bin, 1 sap, which you get from putting a tap on a redwood tree, 5 fiber, 2 rare mushrooms, and 1 superior dinosaur egg from the list we just showed you. And after a minute of crafting, we've got Superior Kibble. And now, Exceptional Kibble, which is the second best quality, but actually I would argue the best kibble to make. And the reason for that is that Exceptional Kibble can tame every creature on the island except Eudes and Thylas, which require extraordinary kibble. And it's much easier to make exceptional kibble too. You can use any egg on this list to make exceptional kibble, but most people breed Rexes for boss fights. So if you tame a low-level female Rex and let it just pile up eggs over time, you'll probably use it for breeding later anyway, and once you're breeding a Rex army, you'll be rolling in the Rex eggs. And sometimes you'll find Bronto eggs just laying around on the ground that you can grab, but they don't like it very much, so make sure you take those eggs to go. It's gotta be fast food. And the ingredients for exceptional kibble are actually easier to get than most of the other kibbles. It just takes one extra step. You have to make focal chili. So open up your cooking pot, double-click on the consumables folder, and then open crafted foods. And you'll see the recipe for focal chili. It just takes 5 citronal, 20 amar berries, 20 azul berries, 20 tinto berries, 9 cooked meat, 10 mejo berries, and water. But these are all really easy to get. And after you craft it for a minute, you've got your focal chili. And now open up the kibble folder, and for exceptional kibble, we also need 1 exceptional dinosaur egg, let's just say Rex egg, 1 focal chili, which we just made, 1 rare flower, which you can easily steal from beaver dams, 5 fiber, 10 mejoberry, and 1 more water. And after you craft it for about a minute, you've got an exceptional kibble which can tame every creature in Ark Survival Ascended right now except Uties and Thylas. And the pinnacle of fine dining in Ark is extraordinary kibble. It's so good, it can literally tame any creature that can be tamed with kibble. Actually, it's mostly overkill right now. Currently, the only creatures that can be tamed by extraordinary kibble right now, and no other kibble, are Eutyrannus, Thylacolios, and Megalania for some reason. Who tames a Megalania anyway? Until later expansions, you probably don't need to mess with this kibble at all. You can make extraordinary kibble using any of the eggs at the bottom of this list, but at the time of making this video, the only ones that exist are the Golden Hesperornis egg and Eutyrannus egg. Taming a breeding pair of Uties is easier said than done, but if you pull it off, you can make an extraordinary kibble farm pretty quickly. And I'll explain Golden Hesperornis eggs in a totally separate guide later, but let's just say it would be a waste to use one in a kibble recipe. Now before we make extraordinary kibble, we need to make Lazarus chowder, so open up your cooking pot, double-click the consumables folder, open the crafted foods folder, and select Lazarus chowder. And the ingredients in Lazarus chowder are still not bad. 9 cooked meat, 10 mejoberries, 5 savo root grown in your garden, 5 long grass, also from the garden, 2 narcotics from your mortar and pestle, and 1 water. And after you craft that for about a minute, you've got your Lazarus chowder. Once that's done, open the kibble folder and you can select extraordinary kibble. The ingredients are 1 extraordinary dinosaur egg from the list we just talked about, 1 giant bee honey, which you can get from getting mauled by bees or taming yourself a queen bee, also while getting mauled by bees, and then make yourself a domestic beehive in your base, which results in an infinite supply of honey and, surprisingly, more getting mauled by bees. Then we need 10 mejoberries, 5 fiber, and the Lazarus chowder we just crafted, and then 1 more water. Craft that up for about a minute, and you've got extraordinary kibble, which can tame any creature that can be tamed by kibble. Now quick tip, if you're making kibble, it's a great idea to make a kibble farm and tame creatures that will lay the eggs you need and start breeding lots of those so you end up with lots of females dropping lots of eggs for lots of kibble. It's especially effective to get a Rex farm going as early as you can because that exceptional kibble will let you tame all the creatures you want to tame. Females will lay eggs much faster if they're mate boosted, so they've got a male nearby and there's a little heart icon over their head. And if you tame an Oviraptor and set it on Wander, it can boost your egg-laying speed for every creature nearby and increase poop production. And most importantly, it's got a brand new skill that lets it pick up eggs in its own inventory. You can even have one Oviraptor picking up unfertilized eggs for your kibble farm and a different one picking up fertilized eggs so you can breed them. And I'll do a whole guide on that really soon. Another big tip to make it way easier to cook kibble in Ark Survival Ascended is to use an industrial cooker after you've unlocked that. Once you hook it up to your base's electrical and irrigation systems, you no longer have to add fuel or water while you're cooking kibble or anything else. And it cooks way faster, like 1 kibble every 4 seconds instead of 1 every 30 seconds. And before we end our Ark Survival Ascended kibble guide, I'll show you the egg chart and kibble chart one more time. Feel free to bookmark this video and come back anytime you want to check on something. And if you ever find an egg and you're not sure which kibble can be made from it, just drop it into the cooking pot, mouse over the different kibble recipes until one of them shows that it has the egg it needs. I already have guides on a lot of the resources you need for these different kibble recipes, so check the links in the description of this video to watch a whole guide which will get you everything you need really easily. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring that bell to enable all notifications because I'm going to do tons more guides on so many things we've talked about in this video, and those will make your Ark Survival Ascended adventures so much easier and more fun. And YouTube probably won't show them to you unless you've got all notifications turned on. If this video helped you get all the kibble you need to tame all the creatures in Ark Survival Ascended, please give it a thumbs up so it can help other people too. And drop a comment, let me know if you have any additional tips for this video. And I'd love to hear about some of the cool creatures that you've tamed using kibble in Ark Survival Ascended. And keep an eye out, the next video is coming really soon. Thanks for watching this video from the Ark Survival Guide. Please give it a thumbs up, share it around, and leave a comment. That helps us so much, and we love hearing from you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for all notifications so you don't miss our next video full of tricks that will help you win at Ark. While you wait, here's more videos you can watch right now, and we will see you in the next video.